we are talking some Cardinals baseball. Mike Fromer here, known locally as the voice of St. Charles. Do a lot of high school sports in the area. Also joined by the Cardinal Cowboy. Say hi, Cardinal Cowboy.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. And then also with Keith Cissell, does a lot of coaching at Howell Central High School. Also does some stand-up comedy in the area. Keith, how are you doing today?
Good. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
So I wanted to get together. Last week, we're missing baseball, missing all sports in general. The lack of March Madness, and I really got to thinking last week, and I was like, wow. And it's nice that things like Fox Sports Midwest are playing some Cardinal games, and even KMOX Radio is replaying some games from 2011 right now. But I also got to thinking, I was like, wow, it'd be great to see some not only Cardinals but also Blues games from the 1980s, those classic Blues games between the Blackhawks and the Red Wings back then. I actually messaged Fox Sports Midwest about that, but I threw it out there on Twitter, and then somebody responded by saying, look up full-length games from the 1980s, stuff like that, and I just thought it was so awesome, and came across a number of great things. Opening day would have been yesterday, and that game would have been in Cincinnati, and opening day at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals would have been, I guess, next week. But obviously missing baseball, and for myself, announcing high school baseball and whatnot. How are you guys filling the gap with sports?
Go ahead.
I've actually been doing a lot of YouTube as well, to be honest with you. I mean, it is fun looking up old opening day games, old highlight film games, and it just stuff like that. Even anything from NBA All-Star games you can find on there is just fun to watch.
Absolutely. Cardinal Cowboy, how have you been filling the gap?
Well, I mean, if people follow me a little bit, they may understand I am a internet marketing guy. And so what's everybody saying now? Oh, my gosh, I got to figure out how to do stuff from home over the internet. Right. So I've been slammed with all kinds of people that know that I know technology. And we did a live stream over the weekend that was pretty cool because we put together for entertainment purposes. One of the number one band lead singers came to me. I'd been streaming their stuff for a long time. And he said, can we stream? We're going to get a bunch of bands together, and we'll stream live all these bands with no audience. But people could then watch like they are right now on our page. We ended up with 77,000 minutes of video watched. Some 80 or 90,000 people watched that stream over the weekend. So now I'm thinking about how can we tie that into some sports-related stuff. So I was really excited when you reached out to me because we need to get sports discussion out there.
Right, absolutely. Going down back to you, Keith, representing Howell Central right there, but also a great hat from the 1980s. Always loved the Montreal Expos logo.
Yeah, being a kid of the 80s, whatever, I just love 80s baseball hats. And right. I remember going to Dairy Queen and getting the helmet with ice cream and those helmets, man. My brother has all those on his wall. I'm so jealous, but I just love trying to collect the hats, and just seeing the old school ones make me happy. Diehard Cardinals fan, but I respect the old school impulse.
Absolutely. So one of the games that I came across, and today, as fans, we benefit from having a game on every single night and whatnot, and that's wonderful. It really is. However, back in the 1980s, it was really special because we were lucky if it was a Cardinals game on at all. But weekly, we were pretty much guaranteed the NBC game of the week. And that was always just so special Saturday afternoon, sitting down and watching those games.
Tell you, I mean, that's about as exciting as it got for me as a kid. You ended up with not much going on as when you were going from school to some stuff with the family. Baseball was about all you could had to really tune into, and so it'd be either on KMOX with my dad or when they played the games on TV, and you would just line up to see who it was and what was Timmy Raines going to steal a few more bases. As you can see some of the clips we got that you guys are talking about. The Cardinals, John Tudor was on the mound, and they had it was a pennant race going on, and they ended up going to the World Series in 1985. It's just those are memories you have. We didn't have all the interwebs and the internets and so much stuff going on. But that's why I think there's so many diehard Cardinal fans out there, because that was what there was to watch and enjoy.
Yeah, in the 1985 Cardinals, in fact, that's one of the games I came across was the NBC Game of the Week. It was between the Cardinals and the Expos. And really at that point, I haven't researched enough, but I think it was near the end of the 1985 season. And at that point, that was really the beginning of a great rivalry with the Cardinals and the Mets.
What I thought was interesting, because you said to look up the game, and I was doing some research on it, I didn't realize how projected the Cardinals were to be in last. I didn't remember that as a kid. Cardinals fans, we're going to be in the top three. That's just how you're kind of raised as a Cardinals fan. And looking back, I didn't realize we were projected to finish last, and then to be in that rivalry with the Mets did make it something special. Yeah,
there were some great moments between the Cardinals and the Mets back in the 1980s. From the mid 80s to the late 80s, the Cardinals and the Mets. Cardinal Cowboy, what do you remember from those games?
Oh gosh, I mean, you had Dwight Gooden, who was kind of the king of the hill with the Mets. The Cardinals had a pretty stellar lineup. I think by that time they obviously had Vince Coleman in left, McGee in center. And was it Hendrick in right? Who was playing right at that point? Was that Van Slyke?
Van Slyke was on the team in 85, yes.
What was that?
Yes, Van Slyke was on the team in 85.
Yeah, I think because George was before that. And so then you get Porter, obviously Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr. Was it Jack Clark in 85? Yeah.
Yep.
And was it Overfield at third?
By 85, Overfield was gone. Terry Pendleton.
Was it Pendleton?
Top corner, yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, you just think about those legends now, all those names. You're going, man, that was a studly lineup. At least to us, we may not have as much to compare with all the stats and data they have nowadays. But we thought they were great. And when you got Whitey managing, you never knew what could happen playing some Whitey ball. It was just super exciting, super intriguing, very strategic. It really made you think. I think I get a lot of my critical thinking skills from what I used to calculate what those guys were doing, how they were manipulating the plays to get the result that they wanted. And sports really helps you keep entertained and learn a little bit.